sit and hear two parties who are contesting over a title and make a position. In fact, even if you look at the proposed bill, they are saying that should be done within 30 days. How can the whole country, when they have an issue over titles, should be queuing up at the Ministry of Lands under the Chief Registrar to have this matter determined? It will be chaos. It will be chaos. Further, the Chief Registrar's role is usually clerical. I go and put a caveat. It is the duty of the Chief Registrar to enter it in the registry. I go and put a mortgage. It is the duty of the Chief Registrar to put it in the record and in the memorials of the title. Now you are giving the Chief Registrar, a junior officer, to determine my right that my land can be taken away by this particular officer. He is not a court. What evidence will he be using or rules to administer evidence to determine which title is genuine and which title is not? Further, if this bill passes, you are going to affect the entire financial market, because we borrow using title deeds. And when we get a title deed and deposited with a bank and the bank enters a mortgage on that property, there are only two ways in this country in which a title can be taken away. Two. One, if there was fraud proven by the court. Two, if the title was issued by mistake proven by the court. These are the two safeguards, because the same Lands and Deeds Act says title is conclusive evidence of ownership. We say he who has title has ownership. Now, if this law passes, you have all squatters now coming to queue up at the registrar, demanding that they are given an opportunity to be heard and the mother title cancelled. The definition, if you check in the same bill, it's saying any interested party. How can any interested party just wake up and say I have an interest in this particular land? In court, for you to be joined to a case, you must show your interest first, either by bringing their two titles competing, which one is the best title. Mind you, the same titles we are talking about, they are issued by the same registrar. So why would the registrar issue a fraudulent title and you are giving them an opportunity again to cancel it? In the first place, the title should never even be issued if it is fraudulent. It means the registrar is not doing his or her job by allowing fraudulent titles to be issued. Why then give him powers to even cancel when he shouldn't have allowed that title to go out? So in short, this is a bad law. And my plea to this committee, it needs consultation. There is no agency whatsoever to do with this amendment. We have had this law from UNIP days. So there's no agency why you should be rushing to only have one amendment. In fact, I was expecting that we should be having an amendment to do with the digital licensing, digital library, digital registration of titles. Because now we have digital titles. There's no law that backs that. Those are the amendments we should be doing here. Now, you have brought one single amendment to give power to this junior officer to cancel titles. What is the mischief? Now, for argument's sake, there's an issue, there may be an area you are trying to sort out with. You cannot make law for the whole country to sort out a particular area. That is why, again, Parliament in its own wisdom passed a Lands Acquisition Act. If there is a problem at a particular area, you use the Lands Acquisition Act to acquire compulsorily that particular land which has a problem. That is why it is matter way. If you have problem in State Lodge, you have problem in Paravana, you have problem in Chongwe, you have problem in Chipata, use the Land Acquisition Act to deal with that particular issue. This looks innocent, especially members of Parliament, you are politicians. This looks innocent. You differ, somebody goes and uses this to take away the right of your property. Mortgages will become expensive because banks give you money based on a title. Now, if they know that any time that title can be cancelled, they will ask you to bring insurance on top of your title. They will ask you personal guarantees on top of the title because it can be cancelled anytime. By saying it can cancel if it was issued by fraud. Who issued it by fraud? Who defines the fraud? Can the registrar sit and determine what fraud is? Can the registrar sit and say this title was issued? But that's the same office which issued the title. And so for me, there is no agency over this bill. We need to withdraw it and let's have a conversation. There are so many things in that bill that needs to be dealt with without literally giving the powers to the chief registrar. I may end here and take questions.
Thank you very much for your submission. May I also say that I think what we need also to clarify is the title. If you look at the cover of the bill, it says granting the powers to the chief registrar to cancel title. But if you go in depth and check, the wording is totally different. The wording inside it says granting permission to the chief registrar to cancel fraudulent or titles that have been erroneously gotten. I think we really need to stress that point. So, however, I'll ask honourable members to ask points of clarifications. I'll start with Honourable Muzingiri, then Honourable Simbao. You can come in.
I'll begin with your last answer. And that's why I started. The court has been put at the last end. What happens in between? Your property would have changed hands. Therefore, even if you win your case, you won't be able to get your property. They would have been what we call bona fide purchasers. So, the current situation is, so let's differentiate two things. A forged title is a forged title. So it doesn't fit into this, what we are discussing. A forged title is a police case dealt with. A fraudulently issued title by the registrar is what is our concern. It means it's a title which came out through the Minister of Finance, signed by the registrar. And I'm saying, why should the registrar be allowed even to reach that stage of issuing a title which is fraudulent? So it's an administrative issue we need to deal with. Why should the title be issued in the first place? That woman has a title. So who sat in the Minister of Lands to issue a fraudulent title? That is what we should be dealing with. So it's the same answer which the honorable member gave for the villagers. I'm saying the villagers should not even have to come to the registrar. They shouldn't even have to go to court. If the system is waterproof, nobody will get a title if the council minutes have been verified at the point of issuance. Because the issuing of title is where the problem is. I mean, I was hearing the president talking about they're issuing title on title. That's a problem. And that problem has nothing to do with this bill. It's a problem to do with the cancer at the ministry. That you know this land is on title. You issue another title. So that is an administrative matter. It is not a legal matter. It's not a legal matter. It's an administrative matter. Let's clean up the registry. That nobody can issue a title on a title. And if that title you said that it was issued earlier title or area registration takes precedence than the one which comes later. That's a law. I hope I'm... So, on the issue of the registrar, I agree. But we've had Commission of Lands who have been lawyers, senior at the bar. I don't want to mention them. We know what eventually happened when they leave office. You cannot entrust such a powerful thing like alienating land, cancelling title to one individual. They must. Even the army commander, there is the defense council. Bank of Zambia governor, there's a board. ZRA, there's a board. So, these are even dealing with sectorial issue. Land is what constitutes Zambia. So this person who's giving land to a foreigner, to whatever, he needs to have some safeguard. And that is why the Constitution is saying the commission. And that commission is supposed to be in each and every district so that all those people can have access. A registrar is one person. Even me, who knows my way at the Ministry of Land, to have an appointment with the Commission of Land is hell. It's hell. Under the current system, to go and see a Commission of Land, it's hell. I'm a lawyer. What about an ordinary person just to get an appointment to see? So I'm thinking about the poor. I know how those officers operate. How many will be queuing up from Kaputa or whatever to see the registrar over the sea? So I'm the one thinking about the poor, sir. Because I interact with those corridors. I will walk in while the poor woman is waiting. Another person with a tie will walk in while that poor woman is working. So let's not create an impression that this registrar will be super efficient. Everybody will be walking in and sorting out the issues. No. Today, the courts, we have over 50 judges spread across Rwanda in this case. They take long. What about an individual? I submit.
Thank you very much. I think we've come to the end of our interaction witness.
If you may allow just to answer the last question, which I didn't.
Okay.
You said just the majority have submitted in favor. For me, sir, it's not about whether it's a majority. It is about the principle that what I have said, if this bill passes, we will one day meet in different sectors and we are going to discuss it. People will lose land and we will discuss it. And that I can tell you. It's a bad law.
Okay, thank you very much. Your concluding remarks?
My concluding remarks is to ask this committee, this is a very important committee, that there's no hurry in this bill. We can defer it for more consultations. The fact that I'm raising all these issues, the fact that I've read several of these, it means the consultation was not done. What we should be doing here, we should be saying, why are councils issuing land minutes in a wrong way? Why can't, so that should have been now the basis of the consultation. So I'm urging or pleading with this committee that let's defer it even to the September session so that we have a little bit of a breather to look at why are these titles being issued in the first place. Huh? Why are they being issued in the first place, which we want them cancelled? It means the administrative process, there is a problem. We don't deal administrative problem with an amendment to the law. The law is okay the way it is. I submit.
Thank you.